Hey guys, Oscar here for Notagrouch, Notagrouch.com, and today I'm answering one question. Actually, it addresses two topics, but it's one question I received from somebody, and it's absolutely a very good question, very common. And here's the question. I'm going to paraphrase it, so I apologize. So the question is, when should I start building my list and monetizing my blog? I have a travel blog and food lifestyle blog, and I want to make it part of my business. So when should I start monetizing and building my list? I've answered this before individually and single questions. The answer to both questions, or to the whole thing, is right now. You should do it from day one. If you haven't done it already and you have a blog, start right now. From all the people I've talked to, all the big bloggers, the common thread is, when I ask, hey, what is the biggest mistake you've made, or what is the biggest regret you have about your blog? Not all of them, because not all of them made this mistake, but a lot of them say, not building my list from day one, not monetizing my blog from day one. So what does that mean? How do you monetize from day one? If you're brand new, how do you monetize? If you are just starting out, why would you build a list if nobody really knows about you? Well, let me address the list first. Building a list is like building a customer list. If you open up a store and you're not getting people to sign up to a newsletter, if you're not trying to capture their name and stuff like that, so that you can send them a flyer next time, so that you can send them, hey, we have a new sale, you are missing out. You are leaving money on the table. Even if it's in the first 2 hours of when you open your door, your goal is to get those customers that are willing to pay you to come back and pay you again, because a paying customer is easier to bring back than a lead. So if somebody hasn't bought your product, it's a lot harder to convince them to buy the product than for somebody that already bought the product to tell them, hey, you already bought that. We have something else that you might like. Come check it out. They're gonna buy it, unless you totally screwed up the first sale. Build that list from day one. So how do you actually do that? Go to Aweber, go to Constant Contact. All the links are down below. Get those systems into your blog right now. At very, very minimum, put a call to action on the side, at the bottom of your footers, and throughout your blog post that says, hey, if you want to make sure that you get the next blog post and special announcements and news, make sure you click here to subscribe. Very easy to start with. Then you can get fancier with a timed pop-up or a contextual pop-up. Don't just put a pop-up that opens up every time somebody visits your website. That's a big no-no. Use this smart technology that's out there that allows you to gracefully bring a pop-up when it's the most appropriate time. So that's building your list. I'll tell you about building my list and monetizing from day one on my parent blog when I first launched it back in 2014. Now, monetizing your blog. So there's a couple of reasons why you want to monetize your blog. And what I mean by that, it doesn't mean that you're going to make money from day one, although you can. But what I'm saying from day one is you should have the tone and the design that supports monetization. Whatever that may be, it could be affiliate marketing, it could be promoting a service or a product that you have on the side. Maybe your blog is about traveling and cooking, but you have a travel agency. Maybe you have a lifestyle photography blog, but you are actually a photographer. What you should do from the get-go is have all the infrastructure in place that shows that you have a business or that you are promoting that, whether it's in the About page or a tab that says hire me or work with me. At the end of your post, when you have a post and there's a little bit about you, make sure that you put a little blurb about you and how people can connect with you and make money with you, or hire you for a service. That's easy. That's pretty standard if you have a service. Now, what about affiliate marketing? Affiliate marketing is my favorite way to monetize a blog. Obviously, if you've been following, if you haven't, that's what I talk about. That's what I do. That's my go-to. So how do you do that from day one if you have no traffic? Well, you should always launch a blog with a lot of articles. One of the biggest mistakes I see when people start a blog is that they start and they literally open up their blog to the public with a hello world post. hello world post means it's just a post that comes with the blog, the first one, and that's it. And then they tell people, hey, I started a blog. Those people are really they want to be blog builders, and they're very proud that they launched a blog, and that's cool. But people outside, the readers, the viewers, the friends, family, they don't care about that. They're like, oh, cool, and then what? So immediately you set the precedence that you don't have anything. A lot of times they don't even have a good design, and so people are like, oh, okay, like, what is this? Keep in mind, people visit a lot of blogs, so they have some experience as to what a blog should look like or might look like. Always have at least 25 articles before you open it up to the public and before you tell people to visit it. You know, when I help people launch a blog, and I do it on a pro bono basis because they have a charity or they have a need for help or they can't afford my services. Once in a while I do that, as I've been talking about with the PTA website. My requirement to them is write 25 articles and show them to me on your Word document, or in Google. I give them a Google Doc to start writing that. If they don't have that, I don't help them, because it basically means they're not really ready to start a blog. They've been thinking about it, and they'll be like, oh, you know, they heard somebody doing it, or they saw that somebody makes money with it, but they're not really committed. So I won't commit my time to them if they don't commit the time to themselves. So do the same. Before you launch a blog, write 20, 30 articles. Put them all in the blog. Don't categorize them. Don't tag them. Don't do anything, because you're going to do that before you launch the blog. But get them all in there. That will give you the practice of how to write, how to use the blog, how to put pictures, how to put links. It gives you some time to ask people questions. Hey, I can't do this. How do I do this? And you don't look like a fool to the first people that are visiting you. Now, that trickles down to both building the list and monetizing your blog, because say that you've been building your blog for 30 days. This is exactly what I did with PoppyDaddy.com when I first launched it. And I made money from day one, actually day zero. So the night before I was going to make it public, I removed the banners that said, hey, coming soon. I unlocked it to the world. And what I did is I started posting some links on my social media. I opened up my Twitter for that, and I started posting a few things here and there. And I was gonna make the big announcement the next morning. Well, the next morning when I went to make the big announcement, I had already made 2 sales with the affiliate links I had made. So immediately, right off the bat, I had made about $350. That was on day 0. So the blog continued to make money for a while, which is why I'm bringing it back, because people really like it, and it's a money-making blog. I just stopped doing it because I had other stuff. But in any case, so write and fill your blog with content. You have to start it. You have to do it. And here's another reason why you do it. Sometimes your first few articles are going to be pretty crappy, and you may get somebody that says, oh, what about this and what about that? And they mean well. They want to ask you legitimate questions, but they come across a little bit of like questioning you, like you don't know what you're doing kind of tone, and it discourages you. I've talked about this before. We are our own worst critics, and second to that is our family and friends. Usually it's very easy for them to ask questions that make you feel like, oh, I'm not doing well, or you know what, maybe she's right, maybe he's right, maybe what am I doing? You know, one of the earliest questions, and I still remember it today, and I actually never launched that project because of that question. I was doing a food scientist type of blog where I would get the juice out of a product, out of a fruit or vegetable, and I was measuring. I wanted to get the average amount of juice that you would get from a fruit or a vegetable, because I was into juicing a lot. And I had like maybe 3 pages of notes that I had been keeping averages, for example, for carrots and stuff. I had a good friend came up to me. I mean, we were doing it. I was taking notes. It's like, why are you doing that? Oh, and I told them the idea. Oh, isn't there something like that on Google already? Can't you just Google it? And they kind of chuckled and I thought, oh, you know what? Maybe. And they basically made it sound like what I was doing was foolish. Maybe it was. I was really, really young. So I didn't, so I thought, oh, you know what? Maybe she's right. And I kind of put it to the side and I never launched that. I had the domain ready and eventually I let it expire, but don't tell your friends and family about what you're doing, especially if you know that they are not 100% always supportive. So the reason for that is obvious what I just said, but gotta cross the street right now. Gotta pay attention. This is a bit of a crazy intersection. So when you first write your first articles, people may discourage you. So that's another reason to write 20 to 30 articles, because then they don't really have a leg to stand on. Even if your article isn't that great, you've written them. You put them out there and they haven't. So you can say, well, yeah, I'm getting better. And if you go and read your very first article, even if you write them all within a week or 10 days or so, you go back and read your first article, you will notice that your last article is a lot better. So that gives you a little bit more self-confidence and the ability to know, hey, I've learned a lot since I wrote my first article. I know how to do the blog. I know how to put images. These people don't really know, and they may be trying to be helpful, but I know what I'm doing. So once you do that, the other part to monetizing is that as soon as you open your blog, you're gonna go and start applying for affiliate programs. Affiliate programs are available for every industry, every niche, and they range from 5% to $1,000 commissions. So when you do that, guess what the affiliate manager is going to look at? They're going to look at the credibility, the sophistication of your blog. Are you serious about this? They don't want affiliates that are not performing. So what they're going to look for is, did you set up your blog right? Do you have a branded email? Do you have articles that are related to the topics that you want to promote? And things like that. So that's why you write your articles first, you get all that ready, and then you can start monetizing from day one. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.